Let's get started. You know, when John Hirschtick and the founding team of SolidWorks sat down literally in John's garage, he and the team had a very, very strong belief that at that point in time, millions of engineers and designers didn't have great tools available to them to design great products. And he made it his singular purpose, as did that starting team, that we were going to be a business that would provide our customers around the world, regardless of size, regardless of financial resources, with all the necessary tools to design the world's great products. That's not a mission, that's a cause. It's something each one of us in SolidWorks, be it inside the employment community, or with our resellers, or our partners, wake up to and believe in every day. And we've come a long way, with well over 800,000 seats shipped over the last 12 years. But that being said, we've really only started. There are literally millions of engineers and designers still using antiquated technologies to try to compete in an increasingly competitive world. And so while we're excited about where we are, we really believe that we've only started on this journey. We've spent a lot of time, always, trying to listen to the voice of the customer. And you know that, because you've watched us over the years do that. SolidWorks World, on purpose, we stand up on the last day, and we display the top 10 user requests. We're very transparent in that. We don't hide anything back. And a year later, we stand up and deliver a report card on how we did. And as you know, year in and year out, the SolidWorks releases typically have about 92% content based on explicit user demands and requirements. But over the last year and a half, we've taken a slightly different approach. We've put some structure and discipline around the science of capturing user and customer feedback. Why is that? Because as important as it is for us to be customer-driven, you can actually become very myopic and miss the bigger picture. And so what we were trying to strive was balance between really understanding our customers' needs, but also being able to step back and look at the market, look and see what's going on, understand trends, and introduce things that our customers may not really want or think that they need. I think about Henry Ford. One time he was asked about the voice of the customer and his interest in listening to customer demands. And he said, look, if I had built the first car based on what customers wanted, I would have built the world's fastest horse. So he really understood that it was important to be respectful of the customer's needs, but also on balance to look at what's going on in the marketplace and really take advantage of new technologies and new ways of doing things. And so we've tried to strike that balance. One example of what we've done to really understand our customers is something that we call listening to the voice of the customer. You expect software vendors to go out and spend a lot of time with customers, but a lot of time is typically an hour or two. There's a cup of coffee, some pleasantries. The customer will show you a couple of models that they've done. They'll complain about one or two things. You'll feel real good. You'll give them a t-shirt or a coffee mug, and everyone leaves feeling great. But I call that the low-calorie customer experience. The only way to really understand what our customers are facing is to live with them. And so our visits are all-day visits. From the moment they walk into the office until they leave that night, we sit there and watch and observe and take notes and listen. And I have just been blown away by their willingness to open up everything in what they do and share it with us. In no cases have customers said, we can't show you this, we can't take you into that meeting. But you find some subtleties that you just miss if all you do is walk in and say, let's talk about SolidWorks or engineering design. I'll give you an example. This summer, one of my visits, I sat with the head of engineering of a pretty good-sized company that makes ball valves. Everything from about 2 or 3 ounces to ball valves that would crush your car if they fell on it. They've been in business for 70 years. They're a multinational company. Their parent is in Europe. And this gentleman was responsible for 24 engineers, 25 years in the business. And it started, as always, with him saying, I love your product, thank you so much, that's great. And then he got to work. He spent the entire day, high-level engineer, a lot of training, a lot of leadership. He spent the entire day converting 2D drawings because somebody needed some files for products that had been designed 9 years ago. And I sat there for 8 hours watching him do this. Talk about a painful experience. But that was a day in his life. So we really, really need to be intimate and understand really what goes on in our customers' lives. That goes well beyond just designing a great product. It's also respecting their environment. So what does make the world's best products? As I wandered the world and asked this question to our customers, it kind of falls into several summary themes. None of them are new to you. You hear it every day also. The first and foremost is quality. Yesterday's high-quality product won't compete today. And there is this irreversible demand for improving quality. And quality is a very difficult thing to design. It's really the user's experience with the product. It may be speed, it may be reliability, it may be new features. It's very, very difficult to put a lot of precision around it. Everyone is being forced to find ways to drive down manufacturing costs. And oh, by the way, we've seen global commodity prices skyrocket. And while they may retreat a little bit, we have 2 giant new players on the world's market. They are not going away. China and India are in this for the long term. They are becoming massive consumers of the same resources that the rest of us consume. Functionality. You're not going to get away bringing out a new product that doesn't do things a little bit better. And so there's a constant drive for functionality. But at what cost? Adding features for the sake of adding features doesn't work. Customers resent that. Likewise, it's very hard to remove features that customers don't want. Features tend to just be piled one on top of the other. And performance. This is a tough one, and this is one that I shared with you when we were together in San Diego. I stood on stage, as did Austin O'Malley, CTO, and we committed to the 4,700 people in the audience that we were going to obsess on performance. And so we'll give you a report card on how we're doing with that today. And then driving higher customer satisfaction. Not winning a customer for today, but winning a customer with the intent of keeping that customer for 5, 15, and 25 years. That's when significant profits come back to the company. And how do you balance doing what you need today, temporarily, against making the proper longer-term investments? All huge pressures. I told you that we've done a lot of really in-depth research. And here's a fact that shouldn't surprise me, but it was very impressive. Do you realize that over 50% of our users spend at least 70% of their time in SolidWorks? This is not a product where you open a Word doc, make a few edits, and forward it to someone. It's not an Excel spreadsheet. It is part of the fabric and fiber of their lives. And we need to recognize that that massive investment that they make in us means that we must return in kind a superior product that respects their time and the demands that they have on their lives. So in the case of 2009, we built it upon 3 core product themes. And it's a lot of fun when we do this because every release has its own distinct personality. Just as each child is different, so is each release of 2009. And as I stood on stage in San Diego and committed on performance, we also talked about other core design themes to support the needs that our customers were asking for and recognize what's going on in the marketplace. First is to focus on design, not CAD. As much as we love the product, we cannot lose perspective on this. Our job is to serve the needs of our customers. The product cannot get in the way. For those of you who joined us at SolidWorks World in New Orleans a few years ago, you heard Steve Wozniak, the Woz, the creator of the Apple computer. And he stood on stage and he told us, at Apple, every day we woke up to figure out how to bend the software to fit the user, not bend the user to fit the software.